Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Factutainment. We're trying something a bit new, or I guess not entirely new because we've been doing the Walking with Dinosaurs reviews. But we decided for Halloween, we're going to review some Halloween movies. And we're starting with possibly the oldest movie we'll review this month, unless we get I keep trying to find a good quick copy of Nosferatu, the black and white one. I think that'd be neat to review. Um, But yeah, this is from 1949, which is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And I'm Zurietti, and I'm joined by my co-host.
Hi, I'm Master 101, and I have not been CC'd about this. I'm kidding, no. Yes, hi. This is actually the first time I've watched The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, it's kind of neat. And I'm also joined by Beth.
No head.
So no head.
And I'm joined by Brayden.
Great. I'm here.
You okay?
Yes, I am. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I am.
Hey, Braden, how's your head?
Um, damn, feels like it's not even there.
Yeah. Well, I've heard no complaints. Get it? Because
we need
head
to
is a...
review. We need to review the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Hey, they dropped a new
So we
chapter
can
not that long ago.
Oh, they found a new chapter. God damn it.
Things are heating up in the Gilgamesh fandom.
So what do we want to talk about when it comes to the Legend of Sleepy Hollow?
Well, for me growing up, it was always a classic Halloween movie or a movie we'd watch around the Halloween time. Mostly because my dad did and still does make. This is really small, damn it. He makes. I'm blanking on it.
He works for Disney.
No,
My uncle works
what
for
he'll
Disney.
do is he'll pirate movies, and he'll pirate like 3 or 4, or sometimes up to 6 onto the same CD.
Mm-hmm.
Or not CD, same DVD, and we would watch them. And he'd do around themes. So for Halloween, this was one of the Halloween movies on there, along with Charlie Brown Halloween and a couple other animated Halloween movies.
It's like the piracy version of that one Nickelodeon DVD we all had, that one Nickelodeon VHS we all had.
Mine was the Rugrats Paris movie. That was my orange one.
Oh yeah, we had an Orange Rugrats movie.
So I bring this up also because being a spliced mashup with other movies was actually how this movie was originally released. Because it was released as a double feature called The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, which are tonally incredibly different films. Um, but one is about that is a Nazi. What the fuck?
What, you don't remember that guy? That guy down there?
Fucking Nazi Mickey Mouse. Anyway, so there is, I believe it's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and then it's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
I don't want to be on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride anymore. I licked this
I
frog
did
and now I'm
not
seeing things.
see anything about Mr. Toad.
Mr. Toad, 1949, Disney.
The right way to pet a dog.
Well, while Chris is looking up this stuff, let me start talking about just the Legend of Sleepy Hollow in general. So, what the animation was based off of is a short
It's
story
The
by
Wind in the
American.
Willows is what it's called. Mr.
Did you
Toad's Wild Ride was apparently the Disney park ride based off of the film.
did you look up the way you were just talking, or it sounded like you looked up a database and just started reading off it?
The database is called Wikipedia. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's
So,
the Muppets Wikipedia.
Waka waka.
so what were you saying, Aura?
So the origins of the Legend of Sleepy Hollow are from an 1820s short story by the American author Washington Irving. Let's see what else. For the most part, the plot of Sleepy Hollow is the same. Let's see. The story taking place in 1790s near the Dutch settlement of Tarrytown and the secluded glen of Sleepy Hollow. Ichabod Crane comes in, being a schoolmaster from Connecticut. I don't think that was mentioned in the cartoon.
I can't
However,
believe they dissed
sorry.
Connecticut like that.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. It was only kind of a plot point that like got brought up like towards the halfway point of the cartoon, but in the original story, it was always kind of Ichabod's like plan to woo Katerina von Tassel, the daughter of a wealthy the daughter of that farmer. In order to get those riches. Also, Katerina is spelled with a K in this instance, not a C. But I think that's how Katerina is spelled in general.
But
And
it's
then
Catalina chicken.
I'm gonna kill you.
And Catra starts with the C too.
But as he's trying to woo Katerina, he competes for affection with Brom Bones, the guy, the big tough looking guy.
The cuck.
Yeah, the cuck.
This guy.
This is an NTR cartoon, by the way.
Hey there, whoa there.
You know, it's
And
one
then-
thing that like forever kind of changed my perspective on things. And I learned about this years ago, but the main audience for NTR is straight women.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm pretty sure most of the people I've seen who make NTR are white and male.
But
We're
yeah,
talking about whoa. So you mentioned who made it. I think Steg was talking about who watches.
I guess maybe in Japan that make more sense. I'm thinking of like one person I can think of.
Well, it was also like
in Japan, it would make more sense.
well, it was also I think it was Pornhub. I'm not gonna fucking pull it up because I don't want to.
Hope
Do it,
not.
But
do
it
it,
was
do it, you
fucking-
coward!
Pornhub released like their demographics and like broadly like who watches what, and NTR was overwhelmingly women as well.
Anyway,
I guess that makes sense.
Cuck stuff, yeah.
Sleepy Hollow ends basically the same, both in the cartoon and in the story, where Ichabod travels through Sleepy Hollow to try and get back home, but then the Headless Horseman appears out of nowhere, and Ichabod Crane is not seen past that night. Some people think that he got scared out of town and went to go marry a wealthy widower, something like that. But yeah.
The plot of Mr. Hands happened.
Beth.
Moving on.
I was so tempted to just like remove you from call.
You can't do that though. Are you a mod in this?
No, I am the only moderator and the server owner. You can't fire me. I'm the manager.
I guess moving into other ties. The Headless Horseman is based off the Doulahan, which is, a headless horse rider.
It's like Irish folklore, right?
Yes, it is from Irish folklore. It can be a Doulahan can be depicted as a headless rider on a black horse or as a coachman. Let's see.
That's not what Google told me.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some stuff about regarding. Let's see. Doulahans appear as mounted horsemen or a coachman driving a horse-drawn carriage out of graveyards. The rumor of a Doulahan's appearance often develops near a graveyard or a charnel vault, where a wicked aristocrat is reputed to be buried. That's a. Are those some? Is that some concept art?
Yep.
Interesting. Let's
It
see.
was Bing Crosby who narrated it. I
Yeah.
googled okay, so when we were watching the movie, I was curious about who narrated this. It was narrated by Bing Crosby. When I looked it up the first time, it said it was somebody. It was narrated by somebody else because it's I didn't specify Disney's Sleepy Hollow, so it answered the question of, oh, who's the narrator in the original Sleepy Hollow movie from the 1800s?
I would like to think that in the Disney version of Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod Crane did survive because besides Ben Crosby being the narrator, it also seemed like he voice acted um Ichabod at several points, with like
I
the
mean,
singing and stuff. So
yeah, the part where they show him at the end with the family of where he scores the fat bitch and has a whole family of people who all have his nose. That seems like it would be the canon ending because like this seems like it came out at a time and it's given it was made for kids where you couldn't just have the protagonist die at the end.
well, if you think about it, he's the antagonist to the other guy's story, if you
Yeah.
really think about it.
Yeah, that's the other thing about this. That's the other thing about this movie. Both of the male leads in this are horrible people.
Yeah.
They definitely have their flaws.
I think
They're pretty bad.
I made a comment while we were doing it, but like, so Ichabod's motivations throughout the film switch from he's just like a kind of quirky guy who's obsessed with food to he wants to marry Katerina, or I believe in the film she's called Katrina, uh, in order to get all of her money. And it's like I think it would have made so much more sense if it was him obsessed with how much money her father's making. It's her father owns the largest farm in the country. Like
All
maybe
it food.
he's like, yeah, he'd be all obsessed with all of the food it can make.
Yeah, that was
It's
a
like,
little. You go first.
no, you go first.
Okay. It was a little, yeah, that was a little bit of a weird like turning point because it in the story it does look like it's played like straight from the beginning of just like Ichabod is here to marry into money, but like in the cartoon it's just like he wants food, and he even kept like a little like journal of like, oh, like
This is what I
I
had.
get fruit I get fruit from this place on this day, and then yeah.
I
think
just
it's
remember
supposed
the
to
part
be.
where he didn't beat the kid in school because his mom was a good cook. I'm just imagining did he fuck this kid's mom instead of beating him?
I think it's supposed to be a representation of his ease to fall into greed and gluttony both.
I mean,
It says a
fair,
lot about society.
but I think the movie overall would still work if it was he was obsessed with food instead of money.
Yeah,
It would.
Also, women are just inexplicably attracted to this man who is a thing of skin and bones, yet incredibly strong and powerful.
Did you not
To the
see
point
his
where
dump truck
when they
ass?
think he howls like a dog, they all just like orgasm until they pass out.
Well, okay, so from what I'm like from what I'm understanding from like the what's the word, just in general, the Terrytown I think is like what's the word? It's like a village, like a developing like village. Hang on, sorry, almost died.
This village
Uh,
developing my throat.
No, but Ichabod is from Connecticut, which in the 1700s I believe is like a fully developed like city. Well, not fully developed, but like is a city at this point. So people like all the women from Tarrytown are like, "Oh, this educated man from Connecticut is coming to like teach our children."
Oh, this man who's not one of my cousins came to town.
Oh shit.
Am I wrong?
You're not.
And
It's
then there's
true, but
like
you shouldn't say
Brombone.
it.
There's like Brombone, who's like a D grade Gaston.
Yeah.
Although,
Who's just
did he come out
constantly eating
before
shit.
Gaston?
Yes, he came before Gaston. This is like the 1940s.
Yeah,
Gaston is the 2.0, the upgrade.
Beauty and the Beast came out. Oh, I am looking at the wrong one. That said 2017.
Yeah, so
Thanks, Google. You're such a good web service in this day and age.
you haven't actively shit in your platform with AI and ads fucking everywhere and just being objectively terrible because you don't actually value being a decent search engine anymore.
The original Beauty and the Beast.
1991.
Yeah, 1991. So Brahm was the progenitor to Gaston. I would still like to see them both fuck nasty though.
I think
Like
Bing
Brombone,
Crosby. Sorry, go ahead.
Like Brombone and Ichabod are fighting over this one rich woman and fumbling all the easily just as attractive, equally attractive women around them.
Oh yeah, let's pull up the. So you have her, and I think we mentioned this, or you mentioned this multiple times, Beth.
The baker woman.
There's her.
There's like another woman that looks almost like her in the movie. And then there's this.
I mean, it's really small, but
yeah, you get the idea.
She's red hair. She's blonde. They are the same person.
They only had so many character models, but then you have these perfectly fine women, and
like any three of
constantly
these,
fumbling the fat woman.
Any three of these would have jumped Ichabod's pants in a heartbeat.
Like if I fumbled that woman on the left, I'd just kill myself. That'd be it.
She is so full of energy, it's insane. She'd break your pelvis.
But check Rule 34. Hang on.
Whoa. To be fair,
I'm not even sure she's a named character, so I don't know how you look her up.
Okay,
10 minutes. 10 minutes if you are good.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end of the film, while Ichabod was going through Sleepy Hollow, I did start looking up Ichabod Rule 34, and there are some pictures of him.
Oh, she doesn't.
Bring up the Ichabod Rule 34.
No, don't.
Okay, so it's a small picture, but apparently in the alternate ending where he doesn't die, he does not marry that small woman. He marries another heavy-set woman.
BBW. Yeah. Like good for him. Good for him. Yeah. He made the right choice.
Yeah.
There you can see her down there in the bottom right.
Oh, no, that's a different woman.
Yeah, that's the. Oh wait, that's the school. That's right. That's the schoolboy's mother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm gonna be real honest,
this small town has an overwhelming surplus of fat bitches.
Like Ichabod is literally drowning in all of the food and pussy he could get, and he ends up fighting the only other guy in town who cares about this lady.
Well, no, everybody cared about her.
True,
but like here's the thing: Brombone and Ichabod were fighting over her, and
I meant to say like the only other attractive guy in town. Yeah, the only other attractive guy in town fighting for the 10 out of 10 women. When there's an abundant surplus of 8s you could go for in this town.
There's an ancient 90s proverb. She has dumps like a truck. Thighs like what? I'm not gonna but it was the thong song.
Fuck. Ichabod Crane's just a gold digger.
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
Yeah. I mean, so is Brombone.
Well, so I don't. This is just my character analysis, but I don't think Brom was really a gold digger. I think he genuinely had feelings for for Katarina.
I'm pretty sure they both had the same intentions.
Okay, no, I don't think so. Okay, I tend to agree with Aura Master. I tend to agree with Aura Master here, and here's why. They're both fighting over the top person, but obviously they made it clear that Ichabod is definitely in it for like monetary gain and stuff like that. I got the impression that discount Gaston there, he's in a position where he is like the most attractive guy, and he can get pretty much any of the women. So he's going to try to get the best woman that he sees, the one that's the most
Woman.
beautiful, and the one
Woman.
that's the one that he wants. So that's the one he's going for. I don't think he's looking at money at all.
Fair enough.
I think he's looking at money and pussy.
I will say, locking a bitch in a closet is a big strike against it.
Hey, that's just the story of my life.
What, you being in the closet?
No, getting locked in the
Yeah.
closet because the dude's wife got home.
Here's a
Yeah,
picture
sure.
of
You keep
Washington
telling yourself that's why
Irving.
you can't get laid.
Here's a picture of Washington Irving.
But something that
man.
the Sleepy Hollow like scene towards like at the end of the movie was actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah, so like
What scene are you talking
it
about?
was a lot of goofy shenanigans leading up to like one really well animated bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chase scene.
Like what's the word? Like well, it was a lot of the noises like towards the beginning with like the goofy bits. Like Brayden, you can attest to this that I don't do good when it's a bunch of random noises going on in a creepy atmosphere. Do you
Yeah,
remember that
I
one
know it's
time?
blurry, but
But
this is good.
Yeah.
Well,
and
I
like
mean,
the way
the build up.
the horse is so realistically drawn. Like this is
Compared
where
to
all the
the
budget went.
mule.
I think
Compared
Nick's
to
getting
the-
at the build up though, right?
Yeah, the build-up, like just the overstimulation of it all. Like I think that was
And
the
I
that
do
was
think sorry, go ahead.
no, it's all good. I was just saying that like all the noises and stuff, I can kind of get why Ichabod was freaking out besides just Brom telling him the story, because like you have all these sounds going on and like it's all really overstimulating, and you're also having to deal with like this thought on in your brain of like, oh shit, there's like this creepy ghost thing in the forest. What's going on with that?
And you have
And
the
then
frog go like literally croaking headless horseman.
yeah. And then
Guys,
you
was Ichabod Crane neurodivergent?
maybe and then it gets to the point where he's like, "Oh wait, no, this is ridiculous." The clop, like the sound of
The fake
horse
out,
hooves is.
yeah.
And he's laughing, and then the fucking headless horseman starts laughing, and it's like, oh shit, and the chase happens.
I do want to. I was gonna say, and also just this being a completely different animation like quality style compared to the rest of the film. Just like how cartoony Ichabod and his mule are compared to realistic headless horseman.
I think that's what happened with a lot of like these old cartoon movies and stuff from the 40s. You're the characters like you would have like all these characters that are like kind of low grade like animated and stuff, and then you would have like one big scene uh towards the end where like you have this really well animated character. When did the Black Cauldron come out?
Well, I'm not saying
Uh,
like it's. I'm not saying it's low grade animation. I'm saying it's a completely different
Yeah, like
animation.
the style, like the
Yeah.
style is completely, and
Yeah.
I feel like there's a reason behind that because it's like up until this
It's
point,
a
the show has been pretty
drastic
like.
contrast.
Hold on. This show up until this point has been pretty lighthearted.
And brain dead.
It's been filled with a lot of comedic
Wow.
moments. You don't really, but this character, the headless horseman, is like a very serious character. It's not something to be like laughed at or joked about. Like it's a threat to this man's life. So they put it in this like very serious animation style. I feel like that makes sense.
I also misspoke. I didn't mean like shitty animated style. Like it was shittily animated. I meant like different animation style. I misspoke.
I mean the people who animated this should be shot and killed. They did a
Yeah.
terrible job. I hope they all died of old age because this is from the 50s.
No, it's from the 40s.
It's from the 2007s.
It's 75 years old.
Damn.
Also, I looked up Rule 34. I'm pretty sure all the images you saw were from a different Sleepy Hollow.
Really?
Yeah, it's a different thing called Sleepy Hollow. I think it's
Why
one
are
of
we
those.
talking about this?
No, I looked up Ichabod Crane Rule 34, and it's one
Well, yeah, but
page.
there's a lot of Ichabod cranes. This is
Like, look at this. Like, compared to this. Just stark
that's what's inside the
contrast.
suit. Oh, okay, never mind. That's disgusting.
Just the red eyes and nostrils of the horse.
Red Eyes Black Horse.
Definitely
Into
change
the Red
the
Eyes
vibe
archetype.
as you're
Or
watching it.
just look at the stark contrast between just
Yeah, where the horse is like really well. Oh my god, that face is amazing. You need to post that. You need to post that image in chat. I need that.
no, you know this is gonna be the cover
This is the
photo for the video.
this is the exact moment he shit his pants.
Thumbnail for the video. This is this, and then Bev's thing of this is the exact moment he shit his pants. Please, Chris, please, that would be hilarious.
Okay, I'll try it.
Sorry,
Oh hell yes, I found one.
I found one of Ichabod getting plowed by the headless horseman and then getting head from the head.
Okay, so this is just gonna keep going in Rule 34
Okay,
for some reason.
we'll stop talking about the Rule
I was gonna say
34.
let's kind of just give our final thoughts on it.
Was there anything else we wanted to? Was there any other pressing things about the movie that we wanted to talk about?
I just wanted like people's like general thoughts on it.
I think it's a pretty good a pretty good scary movie. I feel like it's kind of obscure in this day and age because like
It is
um
75 years old.
yeah yeah, well I mean I know it's 75 years old but like there's a lot of like old like Disney stuff that people are still like familiar with and stuff like Robin Hood, the Jungle Book, all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
But I you don't really get a you don't like really hear a lot about uh the Sleepy Hollow movie.
If I remember correctly, uh, I might be completely wrong, but I think the Headless Horseman showed up in Once Upon a Studio. The one where they
What
did the.
studio?
So recently, Disney, for like an anniversary, released like a short film called Once Upon a Studio. And it was just all of the animated characters from throughout the years. Uh, showing up and talking about how Disney's like been throughout the ages, and I think the Headless Horseman shows up in one of the scenes for it as like a nod to. Yeah, it was Headless Horseman and like Mr. Toad as a nod to this film, but they were just background characters.
Actually, also, this movie makes me kind of like I wish like Disney didn't like completely shut down doing 2D animation. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I too believe that the Orlando studio should have just kept trucking indefinitely. Oh, Ichabod's also in it. Okay.
what's going on with this?
Yeah, there's the Headless Horseman in the background.
What is going on with these characters? That like the
They're in
king.
front of a mirror.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, we forgot to mention the genetics of like Katarina's family. How
That
like
Oh
does.
yeah.
she's this beautiful blonde woman and her father's a fucking hobbit with his
Everybody. Yeah,
comically large pipe.
Yeah, there's the
there were
Headless
some
Horseman over here.
there was some definitely some weird genetics like going on in that Dutch town. Some say their breeding might be in.
I will say in the
Incestuous.
alternate ending, it was fun that well, I guess it wasn't necessarily fun, but it was interesting
It
how
was.
both the girls and the boys have Ichabod's face. Well, in Disney, because
Sounds ridiculous.
Disney typically, well, it's better than what Disney typically does, which is uh sorry, I was trying to find like a good visual representation of this. Um yeah, where
Okay, I
it's
see.
all the boy characters look exactly like their dad and all the girl characters look like their mom.
Are you telling me that's not how that usually works?
No, not at all.
I mean, I got my dad's hair and my brother got my mom's hair.
No, I look like the spitting image of my mom, and my brother looks like the
Okay,
spitting image of my dad. I'm
okay.
kidding.
I actually have a funny story about this. Um, so we have some friends of the family from church,
Uh-huh.
and they're both professors at a local college. They had at one point they had a picture up on their fridge.
Mhm.
So they have a son and a daughter. They're like probably getting close to their 40s by this point. They posted a picture of themselves when they were that age, and they look exactly like their son and daughter. It's freaky.
I will
Like
say,
exactly.
yeah, there is some. I'm not gonna say there's like no instance of that occurring, but like it usually doesn't happen. Like my brother and I don't look like our dad. I will say,
Hmm.
however, I do end up
Hey,
looking a lot. What
you might want to get a genetic test.
I
I'm sure your
do,
father wasn't a milkman.
I do look a lot like my grandfather on my father's father, except for the fact because we're both big, heavy set guys who are about the same height. He's a little bit shorter than me. Um, we're both bald, although mine's by choice. The
You're a
difference
big
is
guy.
the difference is we have slightly different like proportions because I'm just taller, and like my eye color and hair color is very different than him because he was blonde and brown eyed, and I am brunette and green eyed. But we do look very similar, which is unfortunate because he's incredibly Republican, and I don't like him.
Yeah, I knew in high school. I knew at least three people who who had a little sister that looked exactly like them in a wig, like
Yeah.
how Donald Trump's like mother looks like him in a wig, or whoever that was, like his aunt.
And I will say my brother does look in many ways like my uncle, which is like my mother's brother. However, granted, their faces are radically different, but that's because my uncle was gored in the face by a bull at one point, and so it kind of
My
fucked
God.
up the. His nose is a different color than the rest of his face because it's all plastic reconstruction, and it was done in like the early 2000s, so it wasn't that great. But he can breathe through it, and he's like that was the important part. Um, and they have different eye color, and they have different hair color because my uncle has jet black hair. But they're about the same height. They're about the same build, um, which is interesting. Anyway, we were talking about
Yeah,
this
so what?
film.
I think once again, I think the film was what's the word? It's a pretty good Halloween film. Uh, it only actually let me rephrase that. It's
I
spooky at the
disagree. This movie
end.
sucks.
It's,
This is the ending frame of the film. Well, exception of when he closes the book and then he just puts the book back on the shelf. But this is like the closing image of there's just a hat, a shattered pumpkin, and then the bridge.
damn, that bridge looks like it's about to piss itself. Like, do you see how it's all wobbly?
Okay,
No.
anyone else besides Aura wants to talk?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, the thing I felt about this movie is it was like, I don't want to call it padding, but it did feel like a lot of setup and like getting it to half an hour for this two-part feature for a really good set piece. And like a really good scene.
Yeah. I will say I quite enjoyed the dancing scene and and just the him telling the story was pretty good as well.
The narration.
Yeah. Well, no, I meant the scene where Brom Bones like telling the story of the headless horseman
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah.
one. Yeah. I thought that was a pretty good scene as well.
Hmm.
I can see how like the film could have been cut down to the party and then Ichabod fighting, like running away from the headless horseman.
Right.
I do see how
Yeah,
you
but
could have done that.
Yeah, but how do I put this? If you kind of cut away the rest of the film, you don't understand like what's like if we just cut it down to like the ending part of the Harvest Festival where like Brahms like telling the like the scary story to freak out Ichabod, it gets kind of confusing because like you don't understand like like
True.
why are you doing this to him? Like what's your
Yeah,
deal, dude?
we're not anime fans that just dismiss everything that isn't plot related to the plot, moving the plot along, and call it bullshit. What's it called? Filler.
Oh, I think what we're doing. I think what we'll. Sorry. I think like a good way to put it is the first half wasn't necessarily unnecessary. Like just cut it completely. I will agree with like it seems like the first 15 minutes are kind of slow. Then the next 10 minutes are pretty good, and then the last 5 minutes is really good.
What you're actually here for.
Yeah. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I thought the storytelling and the pacing was. I didn't mind it. I don't mind slower pacing for things as long as it fills the narrative it's trying to fulfill, and I feel like this one did a pretty good job of that. I won't say it's like 10 out of 10 or anything like that, but it was pretty good. I think it got the message across how I needed to, and the way that it built up slowly, what it was, the how it got to the climax, it worked. It worked for what I think they were going for.
And I will say, like for being a 75-year-old film, it holds up pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It
And
granted,
you
it has the advantage of there's no weird racism going on.
75 is a sought after age.
and you know what the message of this Legend of Sleepy Hollow is at the end of the day? If you fumble a BBW, the Headless Horseman is going to come and kick your ass.
Yeah.
I always thought the takeaway was, hey, if you're running from something, don't stop.
Yeah.
Just don't stop.
Yeah, the horse killed him. If you think about it, that stupid ass cartoon horse killed him because the horse was there at the bridge, then ran back across, and then the headless horseman fucking zoned him with his pumpkin
Like
broken
literally,
hitbox.
if they had just kept running, they would have been fine.
Yeah, what's the word? Like the story wasn't like his power ends on that end of the bridge. It doesn't mean he couldn't do other shit to you.
Okay. You ever see? There was a Wacky Races concept
Like, if you had
reboot
gotten
made at
past
one
this
point.
tree, you would have been fine.
There was a Wacky Races concept reboot at one point. There's like it's like floating around online somewhere. You can probably find it. There's a part where Dick Dastardly makes it all the way to the end of the finish line, and he just stays there. And he's like, "No, we can't. I can't win. Honestly, I have to cheat." And then he turns back around and fucks with people. Like that kind of felt like one of those panning out the scene because they escaped at least twice and still died.
Yeah.
Died maybe.
That's just how.
Like you had plenty of opportunity to escape. Cinema sins ding.
Ding.
I never cared for cinema sins. Anyway, uh, I guess yeah. This is our consensus of the film. If you can find it online, watch it. I don't recommend buying the VHS tape because it's exorbitantly expensive because it's 75 years old.
Probably
Uh,
dissolved by this point.
Also, don't give Disney your money. Bye.